Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Doctoral Colloquium Committee of the 4th International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship, ICOME 2025, I warmly welcome you all to the special session of our Doctoral Colloquium. We are truly honored to host this discussion with the gracious presence of our distinguished resource persons, Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe, Dean of the Faculty, Faculty of Business, University of Moratuwa, Professor Nalin Abeysekera, Professor in Management, Faculty of Management Studies, the Open University of Sri Lanka. Thank you, professors, for joining us today. Your expertise and experience will no doubt provide invaluable insights to all of us gathered here today. And I also extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed invitees, even though they could not be here in person today. Mr. S.A.D. Senanayaka, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Professor Aruna Shantha, Conference Chair, ICOME 2025, and all the head of the 4 departments. Director SETME, Senior Professor Shironika Karunanayaka. A special welcome as well to our doctoral colloquium participants representing each department, and to my fellow committee members. Your presence enhanced today's session. At this point, I would like to invite Dr. Chamil Senaratne, coordinator of the doctoral colloquium, to introduce the profiles of respected resource persons. Over to you, sir.
It is my pleasure to introduce our first panelist, Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe. Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe serves as the Dean of the Faculty of Business of Moratuwa University of Sri Lanka. He graduated from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura with Bachelor of Science in Marketing Management, special degree in the year 2004. And he obtained his Master of Business Administration and PhD in Marketing from the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Professor Samarasinghe serves as a member of the Board of Study of Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. He is also an editor of the Colombo Journal of Multidisciplinary Research and an associate editor of the South Asian Journal of Marketing. He has published several papers internationally and locally in marketing, management, and presented papers more than 20 international and local research conferences. He is a research supervisor for MBA, Master of Philosophy, Doctor of Business Administration, PhD programs conducted by local and foreign universities. He has served as a resource person, chairperson for many research conferences and workshops. Professor Samarasinghe has won awards for the best research papers in several research conferences and outstanding research performance at the University of Colombo. Next, we have Professor Nalin Abeysekera. Professor Nalin Abeysekera is attached to the Department of Marketing Management, Faculty of Management Studies of the Open University of Sri Lanka. He is a graduate from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura with Bachelor of Science in Marketing Special. Professor Abeysekera is a chartered marketer, member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. He has extensive research experience, lecturing experience in Canada, Dubai, Singapore, Oman, and Qatar. He served as a chairperson of the first International Conference on Management and Entrepreneurship, 2022, organized by the Faculty of Management Studies of the Open University of Sri Lanka. Professor Abeysekera has awarded Outstanding Educator Award, awarded by the International Association for Scholarly Publishers, Editors, and Reviewers in the year 2018. Professor Nalin Abeysekera is the Editor-in-Chief of many international and national journals, including Sri Lanka Journal of Management Studies. He received the Best Reviewer Award awarded by International Journal of Contemporary Management in the year 2010. Professor Abeysekera is a recipient of the 3 gold medals for strategic management, marketing management, dissertation, and his performance at the master's degree from the University of Colombo. He has been featured extensively in TV programs related to entrepreneurship, education, and issues on children. So please join me welcoming Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe and Professor Nalin Abeysekera for today's panel discussion, and thank you.
The ICOME 2025. So this conference aligned with the theme of innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. So we are looking at 3 different sub-disciplines on leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And again, we warmly welcome Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe. I consider Professor Samarasinghe as one of the best top 5 aligned with again Sri Lankan business academics, specifically discuss about the methodology and some advanced statistical methods. Welcome to the event, Professor Dinesh.
Thank you, Professor Nalin.
And even here we are going to have a kind of an interactive session, reflections of the PhD and some novelties need to be added by the PhD scholars that we considered as really important. So we are, Professor Samarasinghe, by looking at the history even in the world, in Sri Lankan context, we are talking about different disciplines, quantitative, qualitative and all other disciplines. So I can remember in our time we are now some scholars divided into two, specialize in quantitative, some are specialized in qualitative. And also in year 2011, I can remember 20th of September, one of the lecturer in Columbia University, Sewandi Ranasinghe.
Yes,
She sent me, Dr. Sewandi, she sent me one email, dear Nalin, there is one particular software called Smart PLS, so you can log into that software and certain other aspects. Then suddenly the following day, I forwarded the same email to Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe. So those days actually we followed the PhD program in University of Columbia Faculty of Graduate Studies. So Smart PLS, that particular time, Professor Dinesh, 14 years back, a kind of a software where it's very difficult for us to get the training. So we have to have different practices and all. 3 months, I think, how many months been given?
Further, we should not forget late Professor Jayakodi
exactly,
from
yes.
Colombo. He gave the idea, Smart PLS is a software. That time there was the traditional, what do you call, SCM, like Amos, Liseral, likewise software were very popular. But if you look at this sort of software like Smart PLS generation, you can see in that generation there are a lot of statistical assumptions are what you call relax. Sometimes you have to have the normality, linearity. These are some of the assumptions you have to fulfill, right? Big sample size. In that case, you need what you call some solutions. Therefore, even we thought of having a different solution, but that time in Sri Lankan academia, the hardcore management researchers and also social science researchers like Professor Neville Varnakula-Surya, right? They were very much against this new tool, right? They said that this is something maybe not that popular and not reliable. Likewise, there were different thoughts. Then Professor Nalin and myself had that challenge in our PhD in Columbia University in Sri Lanka first to use that, taking that risk. I think we are like academic entrepreneurship is very, very important, right? Even using new software sometimes very important when others are criticizing that one, Professor Nalin.
Yeah, and Professor Dinesh, those days we discussed about this innovators, laggards and all. We have to take certain challenges, and more importantly, by looking at these different variations and all, the Smart PLS in my PhD I have used that, and also Professor Dinesh. Then only like we realize now, whatever the research we are going to conduct, so not quantitative, not qualitative, there can be some other particular studies, mixed method and triangulation of the evidence of constructs.
14 years back.
14 years back.
Maybe now some of you are PhD scholars, some are master students doing research, some intend to do research, MPhil or PhD in future, right? Therefore, you need some innovations in the methodology as well. Take the risk and try to do something. Then you can establish your brand as an expert in the Sri Lankan context. There are a lot of innovative tools, not like those days. Today, thanks to internet, YouTube, you can learn a lot of things, then you can try, right? Even you can educate your supervisor, right? I can remember, we introduced these things to our supervisors. Never ever they had been familiarized with those things. But today, they thanks us, Dr. Kajendra, Professor Fazila, my supervisors, right? Even your supervisor, late Professor
Sudatta Ranasinghe.
We should remember, right? They were supporting us, though it was challenging.
Yeah, and that particular relationships are really important. And even Professor Dinesh, I can remember where in PhD where we use in my area transformation leadership, we operationalize by using these 4 variables like idealized influence,
based conceptualization.
Exactly, yes.
Still I can remember. Right?
Yes, definitely. Then one particular time actually we had a kind of a discussion with the supervisor. He say, we have to be very concerned about something called multiple realities, where the qualitative aspect also need to be taken into account. Now, one good example, Dinesh, we are talking about, can we measure love?
Yes.
So, with the scale and all, I think we have Sevandi and all our
This is layman's
future,
language,
exactly.
right? Right.
It's very difficult to measure the word of love, 1 to 5 scale, where like you need to have some sort of a different aspect of qualitative research, maybe talking about something called multiple realities. Likewise, those days we have to have a kind of a different discussions and all, really important for the PhD journey. And ultimately, last 5 to 6 years, the smart PLS with different versions and all, I considered in Sri Lankan business management, Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe has taken a kind of a ownership. So, you can explain that.
Never ever I claim ownership, no?
Yeah, you can explain
Maybe
about.
this generation should be the people who should develop it to next level. Therefore, in latter part of our presentation, we add another tool. Then I think we discuss something novel in this particular doctoral colloquium. Maybe people who are joining here physically as well as people who are coming online. So maybe those who are listening to the record. Therefore, in our topic you can see beyond traditional quantitative analysis. Right now, everyone knows SPSS, basic regression, fact analysis. You know that. Now again, we talk about more visualization aspect in smart PLS. More visualize. Today, generation Z, Z, then even late millennials. Then you can see other generations, no? Generation Alpha, Beta. Now the trend is they are more smart people. They like visualize things, no? They learn things visually. Therefore, in research also you have to have visualized tools. You don't like traditional regression table, right? In SPSS or Excel, right? Sometimes that is not maybe that much curious, right? When others are looking at. Therefore, you like to have visualizations, no? Now everything is visualizations. Therefore, this software is giving you visualize appeal when you make your presentation to the audience, even for the layman, right? Sometimes you have to, socialize your findings to the layman even, research community as well as a layman, normal people. Therefore, they can easily understand. Even you can show this to industry people, right? Research is not limited to academics professionally, no?
Yeah,
I think you have a different belief.
Yeah, we are talking about certain aspects we need to understand. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, we spend only less than 1% of the GDP for innovation. But there is no link between the industry and the academia. Both parties, we have a different kind of expectation. And even Professor Dinesh, in your study, I am looking at this article you have published.
Yes.
Where that particular article, the topic itself looks very different. If you can explain that.
Yes. I think we can go to the article, no?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that should be on the screen. Right. Yes, you can see the title. I don't know whether you can see. Seeing is believing. Right. Exploring deep fake video ads and brand loyalty in the experience economy. Even this is also very, we call the term sexy topic, right? Even in research, you need a sexy title. Then only the audience attention can be grabbed. That is very, very important. Therefore, I can say that this is a teamwork. My research colleague, Mr. Dimuthu Maduranga, right? Even your colleague and myself. And we got another person from Australia, Associate Dean, Dr. Ananda Wickramasinghe from Sydney Business School of Wollongong University as the third author of the paper. Then first time we explored in a very formal manner how deepfake advertisements are perceived by people in the light of the satisfaction and also brand loyalty in the experience economy, right? That's a marketing aspect here. Right? Before I go to the analysis, I will go to the marketing aspect.
And Professor Dinesh, if you can just explain what is meant by this deepfake.
Yes, I think everyone in this generation knows about this, right? I will go to the things. 2 years back, you might have seen this advertisement on television or YouTube. This is the advertisement you can see here, Milton Mallavarachi, the late Milton Mallavarachchi, then Sunil Pereira, H.R. Jyotipala,
And Clarence.
right? They were the, I think, very popular ones in 1980s and 1990s.
Yeah.
They are no more. But the SopLogic wanted to bring a different taste, bringing them live on the YouTube and on other media. They created deep fake advertisement, right? They got the deep fake technology with the AI technology, and they created them again in the visualized context. Then this advertisement was to promote insurance, SopLogic. Another thing, we got the approval from the marketing director, the ethical clearance or the ethical approval, right, for this project. That is also another thing as PhD scholar. Today you have to think about ethical clearance and ethical approval from the owner, right? Otherwise privacy and so many other copyright things might affect. The thing is this, when we wanted to submit this as a journal paper to one of the Q1, we call this is Journal of Global Marketing under Taylor and Francis database, they wanted that letter, right? Therefore, if you want to submit something as researchers to a journal,
It means, Professor Dinesh, for a Q1, Q2 sort of a papers,
yes.
so they are very much concerned about this ethical aspect.
Yes, then we got a letter, right, saying that. Then that is also something value creation when you submit to journal. You say that I submitted, rejected, right? Sometimes these are certain things you have to think about. You have to be ethical. Now the what do you call, the Western people, they are looking at this ethical aspect, even in research methodology and other aspect, data collection. Therefore, think about that is also another learning point. That's why I highlighted that one. Therefore, this advertisement we call now we are in experience economy, right? The concept. There is a new paradigm, experience economy, where we look at through the advertisement whether you get the education, there's a construct, whether you get the entertainment, whether you get the novelty, likewise it's a construct. Therefore, through this advertisement, we were trying to look at how this experience economy concept is applied in the context of insurance, life insurance. I guess this is about life insurance,
Right.
life insurance, and how it create deep fake at satisfaction among Sri Lankan people, right? Deep fake, first time they introduced as an advertisement in Sri Lankan context. Sometimes we call the cultural differences. Asian context we say shame culture. Professor Lianage, late Professor Lianage introduced that distinction. Asian context, largely you can see shame, what you call shame culture. People behave because of the shyness, shame in the culture. But if you look at the Western context, their culture, they say that what you call guilt culture, right? Guilt feeling. Therefore, again, this is something novel. We look at how deep fake might affect this culture, the people's consciousness. That is another context. Experience economy, deep fake at satisfaction, as well as ultimately brand loyalty. Therefore, you can see the title. You can read this, right? This is available in our Google Scholar profile. You can download. Yes. Therefore, seeing is believing. Professor Dr. Ananda Vikramasinghe, your supervisor, PhD supervisor, he contributed, we can put this as seeing is believing. Then only you can get the particular, what you call, attraction from the audience. That is very, very important. Then we put exploring deepfake video ads and brand loyalty in the experience economy. Then I think that is something you can...
And also,
yes.
Professor Dinesh, what you mentioned about this topic and all, in qualitative research, we discuss about something called topic sentence.
Yes.
So, we don't put like kind of a topic and all, it should be very attractive for the audience.
That's
that
why I
we
said
called
the
as,
term
yes,
sexy.
Exactly,
Yes.
yes.
In research also, sexy is there, right? Sometimes people think it's only for particular context. No. Therefore, this is another part. If you market your research article, have a very attractive title, right? That is very important. Then that creativity is also very, very important in the experience economy. Then this is the model. Perhaps maybe you can later read this one. We look at independent variables, typical in the quantitative research. No, some people hate qualitative researchers, right? Some and vice versa. No, it can be.
There now different scholars. Sometimes we get the examiner comments. Some examiners very much concerned about quantitative. They always criticize qualitative researchers, vice versa. But in Lord Buddha, it say something called middle path. So you have to understand that in
Yes, I
a
think you
different
mentioned
way.
something multiple realities somewhere
Yes.
at the beginning. Therefore, even with the postmodernist era,
Yeah.
multiple realities, now they are sometimes marrying together, right? Qualitative and quantitative, right? They are marrying together.
Yeah.
Now that's the trend. Even when you go to other countries for a PhD, now they are looking at multiple methods. That's why we took the challenge first time in Sri Lanka, having traditional regression, multivariate analysis, and another qualitative aspect, right? Later we will discuss that one. But it's a traditional model. You can see experience economy attributes through the advertising, whether you get the entertainment. Then we refer to the advertisement in our survey. We ask, when you see this advertisement, those who are familiar with the advertisement with this poor people, deep fake advertisement, whether you got some entertainment, right? Now these people are no more alive, but in the advertisement they are there, right? Then some entertainment might be there, their wordings and those things. Second thing is education, right? That is something they talk about the risk and the solution, right? About this insurance product, right? The positive aspect, some education, knowledge. Third one, aesthetics. The particular appearance and the creative way of seeing the advertisement, aesthetics of the advertisement.
And Professor Dinesh, now these days we are talking about this rhythm of guitar, the Clarence.
Yes,
The,
again
all
film,
these physical evidence aspects, aesthetic
film,
aspect,
I
yeah,
think,
the
yes.
film. The same dimensions.
Yes, yes. Experience economy, now we
Yeah.
say that, the concept. Then fourth dimension of experience economy, you can see escapism. Now when you see this advertisement, you can forget your burning issues for 30 seconds, right? We call, you can escape from the current problems and experience this one. That's why you go for a film, no? You have so many problems, burning issues. Still you go for a film sometimes. So
Yeah,
you go to
even-
YouTube and watch.
Yeah, in marketing, like in the leasing, insurance field and all, sometimes you use different strategies to escape
Yes.
from all this tension and all. Like everything comes under this dimension.
That's a very deep in consumer behavior, escapism.
Yeah.
Then that is also another dimension of this larger experience economy theory construct. Last one, novelty. This is something novel, innovative, right? This advertising experience. Then we look at this model on that advertising campaign. Then we had a what do you call sort of mediator variable, deep fake advertising satisfaction. How satisfied are you with deep fake advertisement, right? Then we link that. Then we brought two more variables, memorable brand experience, right? When you talk about branding, memorable experience is very, very critical. And also new brand experience. These are some of the measurable construct quantitatively. Last one, whether all this leads to brand loyalty, right? Then this one we use stimulus organism response model in consumer behavior. Now this is a model. Then we use smart PLS. Usually we want to analyze this model using smart PLS software. Maybe some of you might know that, right? I don't know whether here we have it. The analysis. Yes, you can see. We call this a path analysis, right? Whether you use any SEM, AMOS or smart PLS, you can get the same model on which you can see on arrows, you can see path coefficients are there. We call simple beta values, right? Therefore, you don't need a table like traditional regression. You can see the impact, whether independent affect dependent, whether mediator variable is influencing the relationship, those things. Then this is something traditional, I might say. Smart PLS is also getting traditional, right? It's a quantitative method, research, quantitative data analysis. But Professor Nalin, we brought up marrying quantitative and qualitative with some multiple methods. Then we brought something called, you can see this is the first time maybe you listen to write this term. Yes. Our first study was traditional quantitative one. Study one. No? Now everyone who do quantitative, they take this what do you call traditional study one. That means survey, data collection, quantitative analysis. That's the study one. But if you look at some journals like JBR, for an example, Journal of Business Research, now they need articles, research based on multiple methods. Right? If you want to go for a Q1, Q2, good publication, right? You need multiple methods. That's another thing as PhD scholars, academics, you should know that at least 2 methods you need. Then, yes, Professor.
That can be considered as expectation. If you only like know a certain one particular aspect, no. Now we have to have a different things to be taken into consideration.
Yes, you might have very good quantitative study based on SCM, but now good journals are rejecting that one. They say that you need another method, complement, or to better explain your current maybe quantitative findings. That's the trend in the world.
And also yesterday we had the initial discussion. Professor Dinesh, you mentioned about this fuzzy logic aligned with this engineering faculty and all.
Yes, I will come to that one.
Okay,
I will come to that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We will come to that one. Then we were talking about this quantitative approach. Then good journals are looking for multiple methods. Then they say that you might have traditional SCM, regression based one. That should be complemented by sometimes experiment. You can have experiment as well, experimental methods. Then that is one possibility. But sometimes if you don't like experiments, even using the same data set, you can do something called qualitative case-based analysis. We brought that as the second study. Look at, now study 1 is there. Study 2 is this, you can see in my article, in our article, fuzzy set qualitative comparative analysis. The fuzzy logic coming from sometimes mathematics and engineering, right? The fuzzy set, perhaps you might know that. You have done business analytics or BPM, perhaps you might have learned we call Boolean logic or the Boolean algebra, right? That is based on this principle. We call Boolean logic. That came from sometimes from the electrical engineers when they were doing some experiments with the circuit switches. They wanted different way of classification. 1, 0, the binary. Even between there can be different combinations. Up to 0.3 you give one category. Up to 0.3 to 0.5 another category. Several categories in between 0 to 1. We call that's the concept we call fuzzy set. Therefore, your data set now, let's say you have 300 data points in your survey, quantitative one. You give 300 questionnaire survey. You analyze using smart PLS, path model, SCM. But within which there can be hidden relationships, right? Numbers cannot speak that much. I can remember, Professor Nalin, you one article about tourism, no? I think you talk about numbers versus something, no? Your newspaper article about
Indian tourists, how we are going to measure the qualitative and quantitative.
Yes.
Because numbers not going to have this customer loyalty and all.
Yes. That's why sometimes even qualitative researchers might say that. Quantitative people are looking at the surface level, right? The numbers, right? They simply interpret the beta coefficient or the path value, whether it's a positive or negative and whether the impact is high or low. That is what is being...
And also, Professor Dinesh, we are like foreign UK examiners, so especially in PhDs, they are having a mindset. The quantitative mainly conducted by Asian context because you don't need to write more.
Yes.
Because you have to only have an interpretation. Qualitative, where you have to write more, where you need to have kind of a skill, competency in writing.
And
but these
against
are the,
that, again, there's another argument. People who don't know quantitative, they do qualitative. That is much easier. That's in Sri Lanka, that's a mistake. It's taken mistakenly, right? That
definitely.
Yes. Therefore, I think as young researchers, you should think about 2 studies in future. Maybe you are traditional positivist, driven by mainly quantitative methodology. Yes, that is okay. At the same time, certain level of qualitative flavor you can add. Though it is qualitative, so perhaps it can be still deductive. That is there. Case studies. Qualitative case studies are there. Even quantitative case studies are there. Right? Now this is some sort of a quantitative aspect. Some people say that quantitative case study. Again, still you are in the, you can argue in the positivistic paradigm. Still. Right? You are trying to deduct. But there is another thought. With this you are trying to have analytical induction. That means sort of a inductive approach. Therefore, it's a debate. Right? But you can argue with your research philosophy. Perhaps you can be a pragmatist. Right? Maybe you might have both aspects by looking at the practical issue. Therefore, as I mentioned, now we look at here in this model, you can see Now you can see, Professor Nalin, there are several independent variables. There are several intermediate variables, mediating variables. Ultimately, that affect the brand loyalty. Some hypotheses are highly accepted, positively influences brand loyalty. Some are influencing, but not that impactful, right? But that's the only thing you can interpret in quantitative. But if you can dig into this data set and identify some hidden relationship, case-wise, right? It is very nice on your data analysis. Then we wanted to bring that into this study. That's why we brought study 2. We call fuzzy set qualitative comparative analysis. Right?
Kind of a different flavor.
It's a different flavor, right? Different flavor. That's why you said the multiple realities are there, multiple methods are there, right? Therefore, people like different flavors, no? Even in research methodology also you need to have different flavors, right? Whereby you can be innovative in research methodology as well.
Yeah, consumer behavior, we are talking about something called variety seeking behavior. Variety seeking behavior.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Even editors, readers in journal, audiences, they are looking at different varieties, right? Therefore, we have to think about that also today in the new generations. That is very critical.
Yeah, this is really important for the marriage life also, because variety seeking behavior we define in a different perspective.
Yes.
So you need to.
That means for their personal
life. Yeah,
that right.
Also we need to.
Yes. You can draw the parallels.
Exactly. Yes.
Personal life and the research methodology. Sometimes Professor Nalin is a very good practitioner.
Yes.
I think yes. Yes. You have to improve your personal life.
Definitely.
And you have to strike a balance.
Yeah, work-life balance is something we need to understand as a PhD scholars. And Professor Dinesh, if you can just explain
then,
us.
I should mention, now this particular method with a tool was introduced by University of California, Irvine. California University, Irvine, right? That university. They introduced that one, right? Therefore, if you search on the Google, you can say fsQCA, right? They give you that link. You can download free, right?
It's free.
Yes, yes. Small amount of maybe less than one note. I think 2 megabytes, right? That will consume, right? On your laptop, right? Therefore, you can download that one, right? Then with that one, I would say another thing. I said smart PLS, no. This is a different software. We did the first study and the analysis based on smart PLS. Then second one, different tool. But if you like to do the same thing on the smart PLS, now smart PLS has introduced NCA. But we did not use that one. We use this fsQCA software developed by the California University, Irvine. But if you want on the same software, smart PLS, now they have added that part as well, value creation in the smart PLS by Professor Christine Ringel, right, the founder. This morning also I wrote to him about some clarification about some issues in smart PLS. Within 3 hours, he replied to me, right? Even that is another good practice as a research student. You can write to the scholars in global research
with the
practice.
Networking and all.
Yes, here, right, in US, they are replying, not like our academics sometimes, right? They are responding quickly with solutions, right? Then this is another thing, like then if you want that in smart PLS, they have that thing as well. We call NCA there, necessary condition analysis. Now here also the purpose is to whether entertainment, education, aesthetics, escapism, novelty and other variables which affect the brand loyalty, whether what is necessary, what is sufficient. Now there are two terms, necessary condition, sufficient condition. Right? If you look at this qualitative comparative analysis, whether you use this software or smart PLS NCA, ultimately we are looking at whether particular independent variable is sufficient or necessary. It's simply like this. Let's say you want to apply for a university course after A level. For some programs, they need aptitude test. No? Example, Moratuwa University, fashion design program, right? You need to get through, you need to get a good Z value, but that is not sufficient, right? You have a must, you need certain level of aptitude, creativity, they have a separate test. Then you need to get through the threshold level of marks, minimum mark for the aptitude test, which is necessary. But though you get the minimum mark, that is not sufficient to be selected to the B Design degree program. Again, UGC is looking at Z value. The Z value, highest Z value students are taken. I don't know whether you understand what I say, right? Necessary condition versus sufficient condition. Necessary means aptitude test. Minimum mark you have to fulfill. But that is not sufficient. Once the minimum mark is obtained, that student list is sorted, right, according to the marks, Z score. Then highest ones are taken. Then aptitude test is necessary, but not sufficient. Z cutoff level is necessary, sufficient, right, to go to that level. That's a sufficient level. I don't know whether you understand.
Yeah, the same thing if you can explain from this article.
Yes, here now you can see entertainment, education, aesthetics, novelty, escapism. This, when you do a normal analysis, let's say all factors affect the dependent variable. For example, here there are multiple dependent variables, but last variable is brand loyalty, right? Brand loyalty is influenced by all these variables at varying levels. Or it can be perhaps some variables are not influencing. Null hypothesis is not rejected in some cases. Then you say when null hypothesis is not rejected, you say no relationship. This variable is not taken into discussion. You give conclusion. Only these two variables are influencing. For example, here all accepted. But for example, I would take let's say escapism is not influencing brand loyalty. Others are influencing. Does that mean escapism is not important? No. But smart PLS or any traditional quantitative multivariate techniques cannot say that. I don't know whether you understand what I say. Perhaps escapism, though it is rejected as an hypothesis, that might be necessary to create or start the engine or the process, because that's necessary, may be necessary. Then I think using traditional quantitative methods, we are losing some insights. I think
even this hypothesis is rejected.
Yes.
But you mentioned to start the engine, there can be certain concepts.
Can be. Yes. Then that is something novel, right? Traditional quantitative researchers are saying that this is not influencing in this context. But you can have a second thought with the study too, right? Necessary condition analysis is available in PLS. Otherwise, you can go to this California University Irvine, right? Their software you can use. Then that is the important. The concept I want to introduce, we call IDA model. You can today get the attention and the interest. The knowledge and the action can be a different session. We can have different session later to discuss how to do this in a lab environment, right? Today we are giving you the flavor. When you get the flavor, you go for it.
Yeah, definitely. No? That is really important, because today you absorb certain things. Now the interest and desire comes with your own whatever the expectations. That is really important.
Yes. I will show you. I am not going to explain some technical terms, but it's very simple. Even layman can understand, right? You can see some of the outputs, right? There are few tables. We call this is the truth table, right? Truth table. That is based on the Boolean logic, Boolean algebra. We divide the 300 respondent cases into several sets using this program and the algorithm, right? Now you can identify certain cases, some variable which are rejected might be having an association or an impact with the dependent variable. You can identify different path analysis. You can see, we call solutions are there. Perhaps for example, you can see there are different multiple realities, right? Multiple realities. Now you can see in this truth table, I think we cannot zoom this, right? You can see first path, you can see the circles, right? Colored circles are there. Others are like you can see cross sign, we call negate, no impact. Cross sign means negate, no impact, right? No relationship. But the particular circles with the blue color, not blue color, black color, you can see those are the variable that affect. Then we get 8 solutions, 8 cases.
Now, Prof. Dinesh, this sort of a software like going to give you this like table sort of thing. No, you have to prepare by yourself.
Yes, they give the basic things, then you can make it more colorful. But I think with the time they will give this also, right? They are improving, no? Yeah. Then you can nicely develop this visually, right? But they gives you all these values. Sometimes even circles you can create. Recently, I didn't do this. Last year they didn't give, but now maybe even they might giving you the visualize things as well, right? Then you need some creativity there, right? Now these are the cases. Look at first case, first solution.
The entertainment.
Deep peg at satisfaction and memorable brand experience will influence the brand loyalty for certain set of cases. But another set of cases, solution 2, you can see aesthetics, escapism and novelty and also memorable brand experience and new brand experience, they are influencing. Now look at, as average 300 cannot explain, right? They explain the average in normal regression. But here case wise you can see certain significant number of cases are influencing without others significantly to the brand loyalty. You can see, you can write storytelling you can create.
Prof. Dinesh, this might be one of the another paper you can publish.
Yes.
By looking at the different dimensions.
Yes. Storytelling you can adopt. The Professor Nalin is talking about storytelling with the data. Even in business analytics he talks about visualization and storytelling. You can create story, nice story, right? Now your 300 they use something called calibration of data. They identified, let's say in the Likert scale now we measured 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. Then 1 to 2, less than 2. That means no presence. 2 to 7, it's there, some quality is there. Likewise, you divide that into some cases, right? That is we call what you call Boolean algebra, right? They use that one, that concept. Based on that, you can identify the cases. You can do that manually, but thanks to software and the algorithms, now you can easily get this developed.
Yeah.
That's story telling.
And also, Professor Dinesh, we discussed about neuromarketing sort of aspects.
Yes.
I think this research you have used that Moratuwa University lab and some experiments, not for this one, no?
No.
You mentioned about that also. You can just have a kind of a small.
Yes, neuro is a very broad area. The problem is we don't have enough tools, right? And it's very expensive. But we are doing one thing about by looking at the what you call neuro, one area of neuro, this eye tracking, right?
Heat mapping and all.
Heat mapping, yes. We use some online free tools to measure eye movement. That is one study.
Right.
The other thing is still we are developing. Then we are trying to get the support from some engineering faculty departments to get some tools developed about biometrics, your blood pressure and other other body related measures of a person. When you look at the advertisement, how you can see whether your blood pressure is increase or decrease that level, you can measure that one, right? Some tools
even by looking at certain Facebook post of someone, what sort of a level blood pressure, whether it is increasing or decreasing, like certain social media mechanisms also we can take into consideration.
Yes.
But anyway, Prof. Dinesh, that is nothing to do with this article.
Yes, but some value, additional insights,
exactly.
right? Technology-based insights, I think. Another thing we talk about this is exogenous cognition. Then I am planning to do a study with Dimuthu about this exogenous cognition. I got the inspiration from Nottingham University. One professor Smith, he sent me the book, right? I wrote to him. He sent me his book, right? Written by him about marketing analytics. Then his research here is about exogenous cognition. You can make decisions using this computer-based algorithms. You can help consumers to make their purchase decisions using external cognition, exogenous cognition. Supermarkets can use that one. We are trying to do something like that in Sri Lanka as an experiment, right? But I don't know, right, whether it will be a success, but we are trying that as a PhD research. Those are some of the additional things that might stimulate you. But this is something, our message is having multiple methods, traditional SEM, link that with some qualitative, case-based approach using some statistical tools, right? Now you can see your data set can be broken down into several solutions. Multiple path, hidden path can be identified. Therefore, though hypothesis is rejected, some hypothesis is still there is story there behind that to be told to the audience. That is very, very important. That's why we look at this what you call fuzzy set, qualitative comparative analysis, right? This mixed method, very easily you can do this. No need to again collect data professionally. You do the survey, use the same data set, they look at different sets and they identify different levels. Then they say that still this variable might be necessary, not sufficient, might not create a big impact on the dependent variable. But to start the engine, you need it. Therefore, when you give some what you call recommendation to the industry, in this one, perhaps in traditional quantitative you say this variable is not influential. But now you have another story to tell. This variable is powerful, though it is not reflected in the analysis. They are necessary, might not be sufficient. But some may be necessary and sufficient. But there can be cases which are necessary, not sufficient. Some are not necessary, but sufficient. Likewise, that demarcation you can identify. Therefore, this what you call qualitative comparative analysis can add a big value in Sri Lankan research domain, not only for academics, even for industry as well. I can remember another thing, Colombo DB student, Dr. Lasantha, right? He had a study, he's from the industry, he's a consultant, he used smart PLS. He learned a lot of things about these things, right? Therefore, now he's trying to apply that in his consultancy to the industry, right? That's why Professor Nalin says research, academic research can be used to the industry creatively to give some recommendations and solutions. I think there's a big what you call vacuum in Sri Lankan context, right? Academics have a peer to the industry people. Industry people have a peer to the academics, right? That gap is there. And also we are very distant.
Different egos.
Different egos are there. Therefore, your generation can be something you can bridge that gap, right? We can help that. We can promote the tools, try to apply there.
Prof. Dinesh, this particular segment, there are some like they want to start their PhDs. Some are looking for some prospective PhD, like scholarships and all. So these are the like very important considerations.
Even before starting PhD, you better if you can publish at least 1 or 2 research in some index journals, whereby you can easily get scholarships. We have good cases who got that. Then why don't you try something, right? Maybe index journals. I am not asking you to neglect local universities journals. In addition, try to have 1 or 2 maybe in your research career before you get the PhD opportunity in good journals. That is very important.
And even we know like Ms. Methma, I think she has done one paper already accepted in Q1, one of our lecturer. Am I correct, Methma? So likewise, these are the inspirational motivations for you. Now these discussions, after that we need to have some different forums, some discussions. Even Professor Dinesh, your particular method, the new method, we can have separate even discussion. Like kind of a thing can be plugged in into our MBA curriculum also.
We call this truth table, right? Truth, right? Perhaps quantitative cannot explain the full truth. That can be only one reality, but truth table give multiple realities. Professor Nalin, you can see, further nicely you can show this, right? Therefore, you can read this, you can reread this. First time you might get like maybe very technically difficult to read that, but read several times. Try to simplify that one. Whereby you can, you can distribute this to the industry as well.
Yeah, something like you mentioned about the storytelling technique.
Yes.
Like storytelling means like one particular truth table might give you different dimensions for us to have elaboration and all.
That's right. Case studies.
Case studies.
Yes, people think that traditional case study method is selecting one or multiple cases and interview them. Yes, that's the what you call pure, what you call inductive approach, maybe more inductive. But even with the quantitative data, perceptual data like survey, like at scale, you can try to do some case analysis, right, using this tool. That also gives you a lot of hidden facts, realities. In Sri Lankan context, that is not yet explored, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Therefore, I think this is a good thing. This is something about deep fake advertising. But the novelty, this research has two novelties. One is about deep fake advertising model, right? The other one is methodological novelty. Having two methods, two studies. Sometimes in your PhD on journals even, they are looking at methodological novelty as well. Methodological rigor is very, very important, I think, in modern research. That's why I said JBR like journals. They are always looking at this sort of novel methods as well, multiple methods, right? Maybe think of those days, I think 10-15 years back, no one was there to guide us, right, about these things. And I should be thankful to yes, Sapata Abhyasa, Professor Nalin and the Open University Management faculty having this sort of innovative talks. I could have delivered normal keynote speech, but this is somewhat different, this approach, right? I think this is something maybe inspirational one day to you, not today, right? Today you might say this is useless, so sometimes some people might think. But when you become an academic or researcher, perhaps this might be useful. People who hate quantitative, perhaps you might get some sense. Sense making is possible here, sense making, right? Let the data speak. Sometimes in quantitative you never let data speak. You have the recipe and you make it. But try to get their recipe come out with these sort of things. That's the beauty of having this smart PLS combined with qualitative comparative analysis and necessary condition analysis in smart PLS. We can take this forward, right? This is just a start. Today is date.
Today is
8th
September
2025.
Yes. Now they can write as a historical day.
Yes.
And even Professor Dinesh here, like
maybe 10 years from today, you might be very good academics. No, we can see here, right? That day you can have more creativity and take this more insightful to the academic community as well as the industry and to your undergraduates even. Now you have your undergraduate program, BMS program. At least try to do a project with the student. Now at Moratuwa we do, no, in our undergraduate program, final year research and development, we do.
So you have your student also here?
Yes, she is from our first intake of the Faculty of Business, right? Therefore, I think that innovative way of doing research and analysis you can brought into the classroom. That is very, very important, Professor Nalin.
Yeah, and Professor Dinesh, now in the Open University we started to have our university ranking and everything, but still I feel like Open University we don't have lecturers, we don't have researchers, we have only coordinators. Fully occupied with the coordination work, but there should be a paradigm shift from the coordination to scholarly
one
work.
Coordinator can have one student group.
Exactly, yes.
And get their final project done based on some of these areas, right? Then try to have one publication. Maybe initially your conference or the Colombo, Japura, Moratuwa and other universities annual conferences, symposiums are there. Then based on the comments you get at the conferences, you can improve that to an index journal. Try it. We used to get rejected, right? Sometimes I can remember Dimuthu and myself, we got rejected in many cases. He had a dream. He wanted to have in 2 years, 2 or 3 Q1. We achieved it, right? That is something.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can have that one, right? Get rejected means you learn something. Reviewers are giving you the what do you call comments. Through that you can learn. That's the PhD journey even today itself. Sometimes from supervisor you cannot expect everything, right? You have to be a good self-learner, self-learning. I think we did that, Professor Nalin, no?
Exactly.
In our PhD.
And Professor Dinesh, yes, we have done this. This segment of audience looks like all 99% below 40 age.
Yeah, so late millennials or Generation Z, maybe.
This innovativeness, like novelty and all, should be comes from your age. I'm very fortunate to see this audience because 50 plus, මමත් 50යි අපේ වයස වැඩි වුණාම ගොඩක් මේ වගේ ඒවලට එන්න කැමති වෙන්නේ නැහැ ගොඩක් අය. They think like they know everything in the world and all.
Yes.
So but you like coming with this, we are talking unloading and sort of thing, learning, relearning and unlearning. So there are certain people, they don't like to unlearn.
We don't have unlearning, no. Yes. We have to challenge the traditional assumptions.
Exactly.
Right? We have to start from again zero knowledge, right, level.
Yeah.
That is very, very important, unlearning, right? But when you become more senior, you have what you call egos, as Professor Nalin always says. Then that is something that kills your knowledge. No?
Higher the knowledge, then there can be higher, might be the ego, then you are in trouble.
Yes, that's why you have to unlearn, right? Go backward and challenge and see again from the fundamentals, no?
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly. So overall, I think like aligned with our conference theme of innovation, entrepreneurship and leadership, we are like in this doctoral colloquium, we need to have more discussions.
I think Professor Nalin, I could have delivered the more technical one.
Yeah, yes.
But I wanted to give the flavor, right? Then you yourself can read this. This is available. Then you can further try this. We can discuss in a lab. We can do this, right? Then we can create more what do you call the IDA model. No, this is attention and interest only. Then what do you call knowledge and the actions can be taken at a different level. Therefore, I think that small message is very, very important, right? As a young future researcher, right? I think that message we have given. Any questions even we can entertain, no?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Now we can have 50 minutes maybe for Q&A.
It's experience economy, no? Therefore, this is also learning and entertainment, no? That paradigm.
And also I should again thanks to Dr. Chamil Senaratna, like having a, like he's very busy with all this work and all and coordination. So this is all about like hard work, the definition of hard work. We can open the forum, Mitma, for 50 minutes for the Q&A.
Thank you very much, dear professors, for this insightful session. Now I open the floor. If anyone in the audience has questions for our esteemed resource persons, you are most welcome to raise them at this time.
තිස්සතරෙන් තුන් දෙනා ඉන්නේ බොයිස්ලා. මෙතන වල්ලා ඉන්නේ නැහැ මං හිතන්නේ.
Mahesh, you are very keen on research methods, no?
Always
at Moratuwa
willing
also,
to
yes,
ask questions.
Very bright students. Again from Japura, no? First degree Japura student. And
කල්පනී ඉන්නවා.
Tarindu is there.
තරිදු ඉන්නවා. තරිදු අර ෆිල්ම් එක ගැනත් මං කිව්වා. I mentioned about.
You can apply, no? Even to analyze films.
Even marketing analytics Taridu, that particular software that day you mentioned, what was the name? Yeah, right. He also like test certain softwares.
Escapism. You had it, no? Yeah. Yes.
Because he, like as a bachelor, is always concerned about this variety seeking sort of a thing.
Any more questions from the audience?
This is very useful for somebody like me who is considering to go for a PhD. So, and as you said, now even the quantitative is trying to go to grounds and understand realities.
Yes.
So, thank you for that.
Thank you. I think that is very insightful, her message.
Yeah.
Right. She's telling that, right? That distinction is disappearing one day, right? Sometimes we say we are qualitative and quantitative, positive is interpretative, right? Researchers, right? But with the new challenges, fundamentals are a challenge, and sometimes very practical, pragmatic solutions we need as a business society. Even academics have to back it.
Exactly, exactly. And even I can see Dr. Ishara Lakmali also here.
Ishara is here.
Yes, yes. Now she is observing as a director of the particular film. She is there
Ishara is there. Please come.
No, she is
to the front.
Any other
Ishara,
questions?
I think you are very good at quantitative and smart PLS lover, no?
Yeah.
Yes. Your PhD also, I examined, to be frank.
Really?
I examined. She had very thorough analysis of smart PLS, very rigorous, in-depth analysis. Quantitative, I should mention that. Always I say that to others.
She was really fortunate to have very good 2 supervisors.
Yes. But amidst those challenges,
Yeah,
she
exactly.
did.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Busy, very busy.
Yeah.
Dean and another professor, no? From
Yeah,
Colombo.
Professor
They were very
Suranga.
busy. Still, she managed.
Yeah, very. She's like, because I just want to mention, even though we have given 3 years of leave for the university academics, she has taken only 1 year. So because the department itself, marketing department, we have only few members. So you can,
Yes,
if you have any
you might have
questions,
some points.
Ishara?
Ishara. Dr. Ishara.
Yes.
Yes, sir. When we talk about smart PLS and AMOS, most of the time we compare. So I have used smart PLS for my pilot study as well, because that even I have used it. With that, I have seen some limitations of smart PLS.
Yes.
Because when we are using smart PLS as for the pilot study, so it has biasness. So because of that, I had to remove some variables as well, but I have justified that. But smart PLS still, with that, the base has some limitations. That's what I want to highlight.
Yes.
So when we are learning only, we identify the weaknesses of that. And nowadays, with if we see the international arena, the Stata, then R, Python, so those are the softwares actually coming forward internationally. So please talk about those things as well.
Yes, but I said that we were talking about, yes, good point, I think, Dr. Ishara. If you look at even R or Strata, again PLS can be found there. Some of the, maybe with the thanks to programming and the algorithm, some of the weaknesses, Dr. Ishara, you mentioned in smart PLS platform can be avoided. Some bugs can be fixed, that is possible. Yes, that can be another forum we have to think about. Even I can write to Ringal. Ringal is always, Professor Ringal is always serious about to improve that one. That's why smart PLS brought what do you call CBSEM as well. I don't know whether you have seen that. Now again I will explain. Now if you look at the basics, smart PLS based on what do you call variance matrix statistically. Then AMOS like ones covariance based. But as a competitive weapon, Ringal introduced covariance based thing also under smart PLS platform. I don't know whether Dr. Ishara you have seen that. Yes. Smart PLS 4 now they have it.
Yeah, I have used, when they are changing to 3 to 4, that in between I was 4 for me. So I have used both.
Yes.
So, but unfortunately, 4 is not available like free version right now for the students. So we can't, that the tests, normally we do some experiments with the software, so it's very limited now. But so I have used both, but when forming the models, my model is a little bit complex, so you know, sir, that I had 3 levels, and with that,
third order construct.
Third order construct as well. So with that, that the model that the reliability is something questionable there.
Yes.
So
Yes. Now, having seen all these weaknesses, that's why even Smart PLS introduced Dr. Ishara NCA. Yes. I don't know whether you have used NCA. No. Used. Then qualitative comparative analysis you haven't used. This one today we discuss. All right. Therefore, I think there is a value creation, no, when you have these complementary things, right? Very nice people. Yes.
Any other questions?
Good morning, all of you. Actually, today I'm really happy because I can see my PhD co-supervisor, Dinesh, in this forum. Actually, sir, I think you already know about me at the University of Moratuwa. So I am not, as a researcher, I am not confined to a particular field. In other words, I don't want to be purely a quantitative researcher or a qualitative researcher, because I want to follow the middle path. Then only we can capture the reality. Here, reality in the sense we can consider both pros and cons of these two extreme methods, right? That's why I have become a proponent of the mixed research method, right? Which is put forward by Creswell mainly, right? Because it is more towards pragmatism. So I want to know the status quo and the future direction of this mixed research method. So how is its application in Sri Lankan context when comparing with international context? So I expect...
yes, the application-wise is still we are lagging behind. That's why I think we wanted to have these sort of awareness sessions. In all other universities also it's better, right? If you can create this awareness. Otherwise, now even undergraduates knows this SCM, right? But they have to have more insights, right? To create more rich insights. Sometimes we call the rich and thick description in qualitative. But
Rich and thick.
yes, yes, or the thick and rich, you can say that. Very thick and rich. Sometimes that is missing in quantitative studies. That's why some sort of flavor you can add. But with the time, even I think as Professor Nalin mentioned, by looking at even within case analysis, you can see some more insights, right? That's right. Still we are experimenting with this one in Sri Lankan context, right? Then one software, this one, then NCA in Smart PLS. You can try to use even these two and see the results differences. That can give you another insight, right? That's why this is experimental. Experimental. Even these universities are still experimenting. But our universities are not doing that. That's the problem. In even research methods, methodologies, some innovations are required, I think. That is also another thing I think Open University is addressing here today, right? That one. But other universities I don't see they are talking about those things, right? We simply say that SCM or quantitative, but we never think of marrying each other. Synergy. 1 + 1 is greater than 2, Mr. Mahesh. Therefore, I think maybe you can be a good case, right? That can experiment these sort of approaches, right? Even in the Open University as a lecturer, maybe you have that avenue here. Not like other universities, you have that freedom with your undergraduate sometimes in final project to introduce that one. Am I answering your question?
Yes, sir, definitely. Thank you so much for your insightful comment and clarification.
Anyone else? I have a question. Yes, good.
Thank you very much, sir, for this eye-opening discussion, actually. So I'm also coming from a qualitative background. So it actually hit me when you said that the ones who are not into numerical and analysis are choosing qualitative. Actually, I'm one of them. But now I know that we have to have this mixed method. And so I have this concern when it comes to your study. So you have done a quantitative study, and how you have adopted the qualitative is through that software. So if we are incorporating like interviews or observations, is it the same way that we have to follow, or is it like...
Yes, this is actually seeing some qualitative insights through the quantitative paradigm. That's the case. But as you mentioned, even with a small sample interviews, you can try to apply this one. See, right? Then some new insights, even qualitative can be more analytical, right? That can help you analytical aspect. Sometimes they say analytical induction is here, right? Some theory building aspect might be there. That is how you use the tool, right? This is not labeled for only for quantitative people. Even qualitative researcher can use this with a small sample and try this. Therefore, rather than you go for the traditional manual qualitative transcript analysis, if you can categorize that into some maybe categories with numbers, but don't forget Boolean algebra, right? Categorize them, right? Between 1, 0, some values. Then some cases you can assign to several groups. Even with 30, 40, you can try to do that analysis. Then that can be something novel. It's a good way of thinking, right? To
that means you have to collect, I mean, you have to use the same sample for the quantitative and for the qualitative data collection.
Yes, possible. But not 5 people, 10 people.
At least
maybe
30
with
to
30
40.
interviews, perhaps you can try to categorize them and into Excel sheet and try to do that. Then you are having qualitative, traditional, manual, or the what do you call other
in
vivo based one. That is you yourself do the interpretation, no? But the what do you call this? Let the data speak themselves, having small sample and categorizing using the Boolean algebra base, fuzzy set. That can be tried.
I will
and also
I haven't tried, but you can think of, yes, that gave me another way of thinking about
even
that
2026 month of March, Ishani can have a telephone call and say, sir, what you mentioned that day, I have done a paper. Then only Professor Dinesh will get the satisfaction. Beyond that, we are talking how to delight the customer.
Perhaps you can go to JBR level. JBR people like Journal of Business Research, one of the well-recognized Q1 journal, right? We all are trying to submit, always get rejected, JBR. But perhaps they like innovative methods like that, maybe.
And sir, another thing now, since we are like in the process of applying for PhD scholarships and all, is it like only to have journals, but is it okay for us to have book chapters and all?
But book chapters good, but again index book chapters are there. Remember, index like conferences
Springer
are there.
And all?
Right? Index, Scopus, so now even book chapters are there by some databases like even Taylor and Francis, Sage,
Emerald,
Springer, Emerald. Book chapters are there by universities. That is okay. Some are index book chapters. Index. Look at the index. Indexing, that is very important. Even conferences. Now even at Moratuwa we are trying hard to get the indexing for our conference, right? Scopus. Then I think now another thing, all the universities should try to get their conferences indexed if possible.
Yeah, for ranking purposes and
ranking
all.
Also. That's a very difficult task, but now even ICOME can think of next level.
Yeah.
Next level. We can raise the bar.
Right. Thank you
very much. Thank you. Very insightful question she asked.
Thank you all for your engaging questions and suggestions and comments and all. To mark our deep appreciation for the time and wisdom shared by our dear professors, we would now like to present a token of gratitude. May I warmly invite Dr. Ishara Lakmali, the Secretary of ICOME 2025 and the Head of the Department of Marketing Management, to do the honors. Dear sirs, please come forward.
Right.
Now, to officially conclude this session, now I kindly invite Ms. Mahisha Fernando to deliver the vote of thanks.
It is indeed my privilege and honor to deliver the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this panel discussion. First and foremost, let me to extend our deepest gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Professor P.M.C. Tilakaratne, for his victory leadership, which has been a constant source of encouragement and inspiration for all of us. And a very special word of appreciation goes to our distinguished resource person, Professor Nalin Abeysekera and Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe, for sharing their invaluable knowledge, insight and experience with us today. Your contribution have truly enriched this session. Next, I would like to thank the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, Mr. S.A.D. Senanayaka, for his guidance and unwavering support, and our conference chair, Professor Aruna Shantha, for his exceptional leadership towards the success of today's program. And also, our gratitude goes to the heads of the department, Dr. Prashna Senaviratna, Head of the Department of Organization Studies, and Mr. K.P. Nishantha, Head of the Department of Human Resource Management, and Mr. Asanka Senaviratna, Head of the Department of Accounting and Finance, and Dr. Ishara Lakmali, Head of the Department of Marketing Management, for their support. And also, we also thankful to Senior Professor Shironika Karunanayaka, the Director of SETMI, and her dedicated team for their remarkable support in making this colloquium a reality. Our heartfelt thanks also extend to Engineer C.J. Basnayakage, the Director of IT, and the IT team, whose technical assistance in ensuring the smooth conduct of today's program. And also I thank to Ms. Vindhya Angamana, the Assistant Director of Colombo Regional Center, and her dedicated team for their support. And I take this opportunity to extend our sincere appreciation to all the members of Doctoral Colloquium Committee and the ICOME team, whose hard work behind the screen has made this event a great success. And finally, a warm note of thanks to all the participants for your active engagement and contribution that makes today's session truly a meaningful. On behalf of Organizing Committee, I thank each and everyone for your presence, your support, and your commitment. So now I invite Ms. Methma for the closing remark, and thank you all.